Hey everybody, welcome to What to Do When You're 22. I'm your host, Jacob Zobrist, and this is the first podcast of the new year. New year, same me, same podcast. I'm going to try to do different things though in the new year, or at least with these newer episodes. I got to 6 episodes so far. I got a couple others batched and recorded, but I'm going to try to do more, shorter, solo episodes and try to get better at talking to you guys through a little microphone. This week I'm going to talk about Cardi B because I spent about an hour 15 watching Cardi B videos yesterday, and I think she is an excellent example of where and how people are going to kind of get like their next 15 minutes. And then I'm also going to talk about an idea that I've been playing with about integration versus innovation. Cool. So sit back, relax. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and enjoy this week's episode. All right, everybody. Cardi B. Bartier Cardi. Why do I want to talk about Cardi B? I think Cardi B is an excellent example of new celebrity and how people will attain their 15 minutes in the year 2018. Cardi B, here, I'm just going to read the bio, the Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia bio of Cardi B. Bel Khalias Ala Manzar, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right, Miss Cardi. Born October 11th, 1992, known professionally as Cardi B, is an American hip-hop recording artist and a television and social media personality. Born and raised in the Bronx borough of New York City, she first attracted attention for discussing her career as a stripper on social media. Coupled with her no-filter attitude, she became an internet celebrity through Instagram. From 2015 to 2017, she appeared as a regular cast member on the VH1 reality television series Love and Hip Hop New York. In February 2017, she signed her first major label record deal with Atlantic Records. Her debut single for Atlantic, titled Bodak Yellow, reached number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, with the New York Times calling it the rap anthem of the summer. When did the New York Times start declaring rap anthems? And for the season, the summer can declare its own anthem. Thank you very much, New York Times. You nosy bastards. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. And also, as of 5 days ago, Cardi B became the third artist in history to have her 3 first debut songs hit the top 100 chart. The 2 artists before her were Ashanti, who I don't know any of her songs, and the Beatles. So Cardi B, former stripper, now hip-hop artist, sitting up right there with the Beatles in the history books for music. Pretty crazy. So Cardi B, I think celebrity comes in waves. I think there are people who get their 15 minutes and then they fade away. Whether that 15 minutes lasts a day, a month, a year, whatever. If they get a reality show, it extends their time usually. But I think she's the new wave right now. Why do I think she has struck a chord with the American people? Because Cardi B's fame is precedented on the American people alone. She started as a social media, person. Not a social media person. We're all social media people. We all have social media. So she just started posting. She started posting honestly and truthfully. She's also hilarious. So she's got funny. She's got honesty. She's got a level of authenticity that few people can know because of her upbringing and her own experiences. I'm sure living in the Bronx as a stripper, you just learn all kinds of stuff about society that nobody else really knows. And now she's, certified or verified on Instagram, verified on Twitter, sitting on the Billboard Top 100, making music. And it's an amazing thing. She posted a video, I don't know how long ago, but it wasn't that long ago, where she just hit the 1 million followers mark on Instagram. And the post was hilarious. She made a video. She said, "Thank you so much for, the 1 million people that have decided to follow me. But I don't have $1 million. And I'm still 2 months late on my rent. So this doesn't really feel all that important." And I just thought that was so funny and so real and so authentic that, of course, she's famous. It just makes sense. Where like a Kim K or a Paris Hilton or a Britney Spears and a Justin Timberlake, their fame and their celebrity, and I'm putting them in that category because she's kind of like on TV and she kind of sings and she kind of does all this. She's a multifaceted entertainer. It's all predicated on her just being herself, right? Timberlake, Britney Spears, they were Mickey Mouse kids. They were in the Mickey Mouse Club. Then they become Britney Spears and J. Timms. They date. They make pop songs. They make crazy music videos. They break up. One goes to acting. One kind of implodes. Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton. Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton both got famous off sex tapes. Both of them worked their way through the club scene, trying to figure it out. Paris Hilton gets a reality TV show. Kind of, that goes well. She kind of fades off. Kim Kardashian builds an empire, pretty crazy. Paris Hilton, though, recycles, gets her new 15 minutes as being one of the most expensive DJs in the world. Like a Paris Hilton set costs like $500,000 or something ridiculous like that. Kimmy K, her sisters, they're more of a polished celebrity. They come in, they say their line, they hit their mark, they get off the camera. Cardi, they don't make a lot of videos. They don't speak a lot unless it's in an interview or on the TV show, which is probably scripted, let's be honest. And then you got Cardi B, says whatever the hell she wants, whenever the hell she wants. And since she seems to be like a pretty decent person, you know what I mean? Nobody thinks she's rude. Nobody thinks she's mean. Everybody's rooting for Cardi. That makes her a more influential and I think a better role model. Because let's face it, the people who like Cardi B or who follow Cardi B or who want to be like Cardi B are not 45-year-olds. They're probably not 25-year-olds. They're probably young kids. The people who watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians probably, well, at first at least, weren't 45. They were all young kids. You know what I mean? People who like Justin Timberlake's music, people who like Britney Spears' music, are all us now. We all grew up with them, and now we're in our 20s, in our early 20s, in our late 20s. And we just watch them, from afar. We watch to see if they'll pop back up again, if they'll do something crazy. Britney Spears has her show in Vegas. I've heard it's amazing. But none of them, being Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, the Kardashians, well, until recently, had to come up with social media. Had the ability to come up with social media. Cardi B is a strictly famous due to Instagram. And it's unbelievable. Now she's married to another rapper. His name's Offset. And I think she's famous because, as I've said several times already, she's real. She's authentic. So let's translate that to maybe somebody a little more important than Cardi B, Mr. Donald Trump. Donald Trump, President-elect, United States. Whether he's a good president or a bad president is not what I want to talk about. When he was on the campaign trail, working his way through the states, generating buzz about him trying to be president, he presented himself in an authentic, unpolished manner. You know what I mean? It was his first time being a politician or being in the political field. So he would walk up and say whatever was on his mind. He would tweet whatever's on his mind. Sure, sometimes it was mean. Sure, sometimes it was aggressive and stupid and bigoted, whatever it was. But it was real. And with no doubt in my mind, Donald Trump is actually saying it. You know what I mean? Whereas his competition on both the left and his competition with on the right side, they're all practiced. They're all polished. They walk in, they hit their mark, they say their line, they step away. Donald Trump doesn't, want to step away from his mark. He wants to keep himself in the light. So he just keeps talking. Where he could take a note from Cardi B, probably, is say something people like, rather than things that make people mad. You know, Cardi B's getting it all with honey. Trump's probably using a little bit of vinegar. That's a nice way to put it, I think. And in 2018, it's very evident that you don't have to be articulate. You don't have to be well written. You don't even have to be very well spoken to be heard. Take this podcast, for example. I've said, I've paused, I've probably mispronounced words, but I still get to speak. I still get to have my, microcosm of this microphone and my computer in my little living room, talking away as much as I want. 20 people listen to it, 50 people listen to it. And that, that's just me. There's podcasters who, same thing. Not that crazily articulate. Millions upon millions of followers. Logan Paul. This kid who got in trouble on YouTube for showing a dead body. I had never seen any of his videos before. Again, it's mostly for teens and younger kids, because I think most celebrity and the idea of celebrity is for younger people. I don't think it's for basically 25 and up. While 25 and up all find it interesting, I don't think as many of us in that older age range try to attain it as much as the young people do, because they have hope that they can attain it from, making YouTube videos or singing on American Idol or whatever. But Logan Paul did something very authentic, and what happened with the Logan Paul thing, he went out to, it's called the Suicide Forest in Japan. There's something ridiculous amount of 380 suicides there, a year, of all usually pretty young people. Why they all choose to go there, I'm not sure on the cultural reference. But I do know that suicide in Japan generally is a more accepted practice of culture, and it always has been. Why it is, I don't know. But it's treated differently than it is in the U.S. So Logan Paul goes out to this forest, probably not knowing all that cultural history, and starts filming looking for ghosts. And he finds a dead body. And he reacts, right? And I think, and he's gotten a lot of backlash for it. One, he probably just should have not shown the video, in my opinion. But he has a responsibility to his fans of vlogging every day of his life. Now, could he have made a video of editing out the body, of doing all this and that? Yes, he could have. But in an attempt to be authentic, he thought he probably owed it to the fans to just keep rolling. Because that's what life is now. Life's documented. And if you have millions of people who watch you every day, he has something like 10 million people watch his vlog every day. It's ridiculous. And so I bet he thought he owed it to those fans. Now, the authentic part that came out about him is he handled it in a kind of like a weird, douchey manner. Now, I've never seen a dead body. I'm sure seeing a dead body is like a life-changing experience. But maybe authentically, everybody got to see that he's kind of a douche. He kind of acts like a douche. His videos are kind of douchey. So, if it smells, you know what I mean? He probably is a douche, which is not surprising. That a douchebag handles a scary situation in a douchey manner. I've said douche too many times, I apologize. But what I'm trying to say is that authenticity is what we're going to see take people, in my opinion, to the next level of celebrity. I think that as social media grows and we all track our lives and we all share our lives more and more frequently, we'll become open books. There's no hiding anymore. We're all in the limelight, whether it's a little limelight of, 100 people, or it's a huge limelight of like 10 million people. More people watch Ellen YouTube videos than actually watch Ellen. More people watch like the little famous skits from Jimmy Fallon than actually tune in to watch Jimmy Fallon. More people watch Casey Neistat and Logan Paul vlogs than watch, major sporting events. It's ridiculous. And it's a whole new life and it's a whole new world of entertainment where, due to technology, due to integration, due to integration, we've all become interconnected. We can all see each other all the time. And so I think that this polished, practiced person, they're on their way out. Authentic, real, kind of rambunctious people are on their way in. And I'm excited to see what happens with that. Now, to my segue of integration versus innovation. Oh yeah. All right, part 2 of today's episode. I want to talk about innovation and integration. I'm going to start off with another Wikipedia reading. Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. I'm going to read about Moore's Law. Moore's Law is the observation that the number of transistors in a dense integrated circuit doubles approximately every 2 years. The observation is named after Gordon Moore, the co-founder of Fairchild Semiconductors and Intel. Intel is the company that powers Dell computers, whose 1965 paper described a doubling every year in the number of components per integrated circuit. And projected this rate of growth would continue for at least another decade. 1975 hits, he rewrites the paper to saying that it would double every 2 years instead of every year. Now, what does this mean? This means that the amount of computing power doubles every 2 years. Now, that's pretty crazy. Makes a lot of sense. Here's the weird part, though, about it, is that as that number grows, right, the amount of people in the field of research to allow it to grow has grown exponentially higher. So the amount of work going into keeping up Moore's Law doesn't make a lot of sense sustainability-wise. It's incredibly hard now to continue that doubling every 2 years, according to the Freakonomics podcast at least. Now, what this is kind of leading into is the fact that innovation is getting harder and harder because what's the next idea? You know what I mean? Throughout time, we've always been thinking of ideas, and now as we reach more of a future state with society and culture, we're getting to realize those ideas that we've had in the past. You know what I mean? Floating cars isn't a new idea. Artificial intelligence isn't a new idea. Personal computers aren't a new idea. So, where are the new ideas? You know what I mean? Let's take Apple, for example. The MacBook to the laptop. It's not a new thing. Laptops were invented before the MacBook came out, right? The smartphone. There were smartphones before the iPhone, right? The iPod. There was MP3 players before the iPod. What Apple did it was an innovation in the marketplace, but more so it was an integration, right? So no longer did just the businessman need a laptop. Thanks to Apple, now the artist needs a laptop. Now the music producer, or the musician rather, needs a laptop. Not only now does the businessman need a cell phone, now everybody needs a cell phone. You know? Now, let's take Blackberries and Palm Pilots, right? You know? Businessman needs to read his emails. Now we all have email. Now we all have smartphones, right? iPods, MP3 players, right? People probably were turned off from the MP3 player because they needed a computer to run it. So they used a Walkman, so they used a personal CD player. So as the personal computing and personal computers market grows, now the MP3 market grows, now iPods come out, right? My dad carried around a Walkman and then a CD player for years. And then we got him an iPod, and now he has an iPod. You know what I mean? No longer did the person who just jogged with their music need to do it with a Walkman. Now they could have more than, whatever CD they brought with them, they could have all the songs. I'm not explaining how iPod works. I'm just saying how Apple is looked at as an innovative company. I think they innovated the marketplace for computing and personal computing. They created integration. Now we all have smartphones, whether it be a Samsung, whether it be a Google phone, whether it's an iPhone. But now we all have those. We all have, laptops or iPads. iPads is another example. There was tablet PCs for a long time before iPads. But Apple made it sexy, made it look cool. They made it work a little bit better. But they didn't invent anything new. Nobody's inventing anything new. Now, is that a bad thing or a good thing? Personally, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think what the future holds, and I'm taking some of this from Kevin Kelly, his book, The Inevitable, and then another book I'm reading right now called Other Minds, it's about octopuses, is that there's different forms of intelligences. We have an intelligence, the human intelligence. It's great. We can do many facets of things. We are now developing another form of intelligence, artificial intelligence. Where's the difference here? Artificial intelligence will be good at one thing, whatever we decide it to be good at, right? So if we want an artificial intelligence to know the symptoms of all metabolic disease, we'll create it. It'll have that. If we want AI that knows proper grammar, spelling, sentence structure, pronunciation, we'll develop it. We'll create it. It'll have that. If we want an AI that knows the exact way to wash, clean, and dry all of our clothes, we'll program it and we'll have that. So that's different categories of intelligence, just like how animals have different categories of intelligence. Dolphins, octopuses, fish. They're all thinking in different ways because their experiences and their brains and evolution has developed them to think the best way they need to think to be able to survive. So do I think Where I think innovation is going to come is I think innovation is going to come from new intelligences that we've learned to either create or communicate with and harness to then start making innovation again. I think as a society, we've kind of peaked. Now we have to diversify and integrate. That might have sounded loaded. It might have sounded pessimistic. But I think for right now, our reality is finally starting to catch up with our ideas. And I think that's incredible because we've been thinking for a very long time. And to finally be able to, stop thinking and start doing is a pretty beautiful thing. And throughout history, there's been waves of, a time of a lot of innovation. I think the 1960s to probably the dot-com boom was that wave. And now we're just letting the pieces fall. You know what I mean? Fall where they may. We all have our grandparents now, have iPhones. It used to be for kids. It used to be for businessmen. But now our grandparents are doing it. And when you get the last generation around to start doing the new thing, that's a pretty good sign that everybody's on the wave. You know what I mean? All right. That was the first podcast of 2018. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you and enjoy your day.